on America, Mr. Tharoor, frankly, it appears both sides, India and America, are groping in the dark for something to hang this relationship on. Desperate attempt is being made from both sides. Do we detect something positive in what's going on? So the American officials can come and make Kashmir a bilateral issue, offer to mediate between India and Pakistan. Every time India's busy after, whether it's William Burns or anyone else who comes and makes a comment, the National Security Advisor, we are busy dusting the floor clean after their bizarre comments as far as India and Pakistan
really,
are
honestly,
specifically, you know what I'm talking about.
But I don't think it's accurate. I don't think that the Americans are sending emissaries here to offer to mediate on Kashmir.
They're taking the Pakistani line on Kashmir. This Obama administration is taking, and you're one of India's most seasoned diplomats. The Obama administration, when Burns' comment that any resolution has to take into account the wishes of the Kashmiri people, is the Pakistani government's line. Now followed up with Jones's statement that the US will help India and Pakistan solve the Kashmir issue. I mean, this statement could have been from Zardari himself.
No.
Or drafted by Zardari.
I think we should be wary of reading too much. This is like the interpreters of Shakespeare in literature classes. You take a phrase and read 10 meanings into it that poor Shakespeare may never have intended.
I'm only putting two phrases together.
No. You asked the fundamental question, what is there in this relationship? I'll tell you what there is.
No, you're broadening the question.
Extraordinary trade relationship.
You broaden the question.
There is an extraordinary amount of cooperation.
Mr. Tharoor,
there is the Indian population in America.
You broaden the question.
No. You asked what is in the
relationship. My
relationship.
question is specific. You broaden the question.
Okay, but I'm telling you the relationship.
That smile gives you away. You broaden the question. You're taking it another direction. My question is on Kashmir.
Kashmir.
Obama administration is compromising us on
the government of India believes very strongly in the wishes of the Kashmiri people. We have free elections in Kashmir, and the wishes of the Kashmiri people, as far as we are concerned, are expressed fully in those elections and through those means. And we see the elected representatives of the Kashmiri people sitting in the assembly in Srinagar, sitting in the government in Srinagar. They are the spokesmen of the Kashmiri people. At the same time, the government has listened to other points of view outside the government, as we often do in many parts of our country, and we see no particular problem with that. We have made it very clear to anybody who will listen, and that includes the US, Pakistan, anybody else, that we don't need any third party to help us solve our domestic or indeed our international problems.
Did we tell Jones that? Did we tell the American National Security Advisor?
I was not present at the meeting, but I have no doubt that there was no deviation from this existing policy.
Should he have made that comment?
Look, I'm not going to put words in anybody else's mouth, and I can't take words out of anybody else's mouth. What other people say is up to them. What they meant, you shouldn't overinterpret. From our point of view, our position is very clear. We know we have a problem in Kashmir. We know we have a problem with Pakistan. We also know that the nature of what has been coming to us from Pakistan vastly goes beyond anything that can be settled through amicable diplomatic negotiations. We would like to have all our problems with Pakistan solved amicably across the table, and not by people coming and blowing up our hotels.
It's not India's job to solve the problems in Pakistan. India's concern should be that with Pakistan, even in Pakistan.
In Pakistan, it's not our
It's not our concern. But the money that America is providing Pakistan, the billions of dollars that are being pumped in, would you say, Mr. Tharoor, at least make that conditional? Because in the latest piece of American legislation, the conditionality clause was taken away.
No. It was.
That is what you've been pushing for so hard. Your government's been
pushing. But look, the conditionality clause is there with the reference to the word neighbors rather than the word India, which is fine. We are a neighbor, so obviously the weaponry is not meant to be used against neighbors. Look, we've had a fundamental problem with an approach from certain elements of the Pakistani military, which have seen it being in their interest to destabilize their neighbors. We don't like that.
Yes.
We think that they'll be better off, as we will be, if everyone behaved properly with their neighbors, and that's something that's fine. As far as we're concerned, the US giving assistance to Pakistan to overcome the Taliban is not going to bother us, because it is essentially a cause that we also share.
How are you convinced that they will do so, when in the last 15 to 20 years they've been taking the aid
and not building,
and even other aid, they're not building dams with that aid.
No, I agree.
They are supporting the terrorists in Kashmir with that aid. You've been saying.
I've been saying it as a personal individual. I now say it as a Minister of State of the Government of India, that we know that an awful amount of American military assistance has been spent on equipment that can only be used against us. And we deplore that, and we hope that America, in giving its assistance, will target that assistance very specifically to things that will bring peace to
by
Pakistan.
By adding a conditionality clause.
Whichever means they use.
By adding a conditionality.
By making sure how that money is spent.
But is it bad to put a conditionality clause?
No, look, there is a conditionality clause I told you in the law, but that's not enough. It's making sure that the money is spent properly. A law is a law. The implementation is what we care about. We would like to see the Pakistani army strengthened in dealing with the Taliban. We would like to see the people of Pakistan benefiting from
another way in
projects.
which Pakistan can be stopped, and I know I'm going on and on about this, another way in which the Pakistani government can be stopped from misusing the money and not pointing it at India, apart from adding a conditionality clause. Why are you evasive on the issue of
supervision of the expenditure? I mean, if I give you money because you tell me you want to eat and I see you buying cigarettes with it tomorrow, I could come to you rightly and say, look, I gave you that money, you to give those cigarettes back, take the money and go and eat.
So you want closer supervision? You tell
we would like to see some supervision of how money is being spent, because that is the purpose for which the money is intended, and that purpose is what we applaud.
I want to briefly spend some time on China, and there is a feeling that India is not coming clean with what really is going on the Indo-China front. There has been a massive deployment of troops on both sides. Levels have been raised in Arunachal Pradesh. China has gone and questioned Asian Development Bank assistance that has been given for use in Arunachal. Sukhois have been put on the Arunachal front. New air bases are being created. Is there greater tension with China right now? And why is all this being done? People have a right to know, Mr. Khattar.
No, there have been some developments that have a logic of their own. I mean, the Arunachal objection and the ADB has outraged us. We're never going to find that kind of behavior acceptable. On the other hand, we feel that these matters can best be solved through talking frankly with each other, and I hope talking also amicably with each other. As far as the military deployments are concerned, there's a certain military logic to what we're doing, which is that the paramount responsibility of the Indian military is to keep India safe. We're not threatening anybody. We have no desire to take any offensive action, but we have to keep India safe on all its borders.
Just to quickly recap for our viewers, 10 rapid-fire questions at the very end. Some of this will be repetitive. Largely, it will be repetitive. You can answer in yes or no, so maybe 2-3 words.
Well, you'll ask me questions I can't answer in yes or no.
Like you do on Twitter. There's a 20-character limit on the answers. So you will continue talking to Pakistan?
Talking short of a full-fledged dialogue until more action is seen.
Despite the attacks, no action having happened?
We expect more action to happen. Some action did happen. We want more to follow.
Despite the latest seizures, the latest intelligence bureau warning, and despite the knowledge about infiltration, you'll continue to talk?
No, the warnings,
despite everything,
the warnings mean we will be alert.
Despite everything, you'll continue to talk?
We will continue to meet, but we have not talked in a formal peace process yet.
You will not issue an advisory against travel to Australia, despite the attacks in
We're not planning to issue an advisory. We expect people to make their own decisions.
Despite more attacks, if more attacks happen, despite that, you will not issue even a warning or a caution?
We will keep speaking with the Australian government and see what's the best way forward.
Are the attacks opportunistic, mob attacks, unruly elements, or racial?
All of the above.
Can't say a mix of both.
It is all of the above.
The question.
No, but it's all of the above. There are certainly some that are purely opportunistic, some that are purely imitative, some that are purely racist.
Australian media reports suggest the deaths of Indian students in Australia have been suppressed. Would you at least tell the Australian government to come clean on that?
We believe some figures were released today.
You will continue to ask America to continue with its aid to Pakistan, irrespective of anything, whether or not it's conditional or not?
No, we want it to be spent wisely or for the purpose for which it's intended and not to be used against us.
Without adding a clause?
In whatever means legal as well as implementation.
You will tell the Americans not to make any more comments on involving themselves in talks on Kashmir?
But we think that some of these comments have been exaggerated in the media. We don't, we think the Americans understand our position.
But that's what Jones said. That's what William Burns said. How can they be exaggerated? I can read out their words for you.
It's all right. As far as we're concerned, we're not going to take it in that way.
Will you advise Hillary Clinton to do the same as well?
We don't advise foreign countries' foreign ministers. Come on. They can say what they like. Look, ultimately, what matters is not what others say, it's how we react. I think you have to be confident that your government is quite capable of reacting in a wise, mature and calm manner, whatever others may say.
Last question. You are on Twitter with some 11,000 plus fans.
Apparently, yes.
People following you. How many of those are women? Because we told you've got a large women following.
Well, I can't really tell because I don't know who all of them are. Amongst those who send me comments, the genders seem to be equally divided.
Last question. Why would anyone want to know what Shashi Tharoor is doing this instant or that instant?
I wonder, Arnav. I haven't even tweeted that I'm with you. So how could they not?
You can send a tweet on that one. Shashi Tharoor, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much. Thank you.